Hi friends, namaste. Good morning or good evening everyone. This is Lavanya. I live in Australia. So I'll be the host for this session. With divine blessings of Dr. Brahmashi Subhash Patreji and Swarnamala Patreji, let us start our today's sessions. I would like you to welcome back to the Divine Breath YouTube channel, PSSM Australia, initiative of Pyramid Spiritual Society Movement. Please do subscribe the Divine Breath YouTube channel. So in the coming days, we will have a unique opportunity to learn about Upanishads and expand our intellect. So we all know Prasanna ma'am in the Divine Breath platform. She has narrated the book called Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu for over 12 weeks. Let me give a short introduction about Prasanna ma'am for those who are new. Prasanna has joined the first batch of computer science professors, worked in India at few places like Anantapur, Hyderabad, and Kurnool in different positions from assistant professor to head of the Department of Computer Science. To pursue her career, Prasanna moved to USA in 2008 and got introduced to meditation at Sai Baba Temple, guided by Sharad Babuji. Later, Prasanna moved to Houston, Texas in 2010. In Houston, Prasanna was in search for a meditation group. With this pandemic, world became one and she was able to find a group to meditate and continue her practice of meditation every single day. As of now, Prasanna works as project manager at Citibank in Tampa, Florida. And she's also doing her master's in yoga and spiritual science from Vedic Wellness University. Prasanna also conducts meditation classes, book clubs, and wisdom sharing sessions for PMC USA and PMC Multilingual to Feed Her Soul. So friends, join me in welcoming our Pyramid Master Prasanna. Over to you, Prasanna Garu.
Thank you, Lavanya, for the kind words and nice introduction. Yeah, as I know, we are all not new to each other. We have traveled through Soul's journey for 13 long weeks. And yeah, here again, I'm here to you to share whatever the little I know about Upanishads. So it's a great subject. To touch upon this subject, really one needs to have like a lot of courage to touch this subject. But when Lavanya requested, so I thought, okay, I may not be the master of these Upanishads, but whatever I know or whatever I learned, I understood. Because this subject is such a depth, because in other subjects, other books, when we read the book itself, in whatever the way that it is written, we have to interpret and we have to gain the knowledge. But here in the Upanishads, whatever it is not there, with one sentence, we have to interpret like 10 pages of the matter. We have to interpret that and we have to get that knowledge. So that is a kind of not so easy kind of thing. And each different people, Shankaracharya has written his own things, and everybody has written their own bhashyams on these Upanishads. So it is not, I'm just here in a starting. I'm in the kindergarten stage where I'm just reading these Upanishads and try to learn. But only thing is, I wanted to touch upon, we are all learning so many, new spirituality books, right? So the soul's journey, or any other books that we are learning, that we are, the many lives, many births, all those things are all new spirituality, new age spirituality books. We can call them as, because these whatever the masters that have been experienced in the last 50 to 100 years, those are the books that we are learning, because we need, for anything we need some proof kind of thing. Suppose if you say that something was written in Vedas and something was written in Upanishads, we feel that who knows whether it is right or not, who has written. So we need some kind of proof for everything, because we are living with the logical mind. We are not going to beyond our logical mind. Okay, so with that we are struck, some of the we are struck with the one part of our brain only. We are not actually going into the conscious to subconscious mind, and we are not actually getting all the things. But here, whenever I'm reading these Upanishads, because like you all, I also started my journey with the New Age spirituality books only. But the things that has written in these Upanishads or Vedas, the same thing was repeated in the New Age spirituality, because being the old or ancient things, we are not actually going there. So again and again, the universe is giving those truths in a different forms through the different people. That is what I understood. So what was written? So now, while we are actually learning those things, just let us go back to our ancient knowledge, our own knowledge, which was written around 5,000 years ago. All the knowledge was written, all the knowledge was given to us 5,000 years ago itself. But for some reason or the other, we were not exposed to this kind of knowledge. So at least now we got an opportunity to see, to read about what it is there, to know little about it. So I may be giving a bit of introduction here, but definitely each one of us might be connecting to the different Upanishads. Okay, because there are so many Upanishads are there, so each one of us may be finding it a lot of good interest in one of the Upanishads, and we may go and do a research. If we can able to read one Upanishad so very well, very deeply into it, if you can, so it is nothing but all other Upanishads are covered. It is again. So each Upanishad is giving the same truth depicting the same truth in a different way, because the different people might connect with the different ways. That is what it is saying. So before we actually jump into the any Upanishads, this class or this session, we will just go over with the introduction part. So what is Upanishads? So many people, Upanishads teachings they are interpreted as a secret teachings. Upanishads teachings are secret teachings, they are revealing the underlying truth. That is what they say. Their Upanishads are revealing the underlying truth of what it is. That the truth is addressed to the so how these religious texts are actually giving that. What is the truth? So maybe some of them may be saying this is an orthodox Hindu text. Okay, because these are coming from the Vedas, and also these are considered as an orthodox Hindu texts. That's how it is. But it is revealing the truth of the knowledge of how the creation happened, how the universe is operating. So if you see that if it is in Upanishads, we may see that it is an Hindu kind of thing. But if it is a proto theory or something, so that is, then they may call it as a different religion. If it is, say, that Big Bang theory, you call it as a science. But everywhere, whatever, whether it is a proto theory or it is a Big Bang or it is Upanishads, whatever the creation, it is the same. The underlying truth is the same thing was explained, but we were learned in a different ways. So it is showing that what is the universe, how actually the creation happened, how we are doing it. All the things were explained in this Upanishads. The word Upanishads is a Sanskrit word, Upanishad, right? Upa means near. In Sanskrit, Upa means near. Ni is down, sit down, near, sit down. So Shad means sit. So sit down near, where you are sitting down to the near. Sit down to that near to that Vedanta or Vedas and learn this knowledge. So you are sitting down near and learning this knowledge. Upanishad, it is a sit down near this knowledge and then learn it. The Upanishads is also, they are nothing but the compilation from the Vedas. So Upanishads are not coming from the separate. They are coming from the Vedas only. Vedanta, you can call it as Vedantas, because many people say that Upanishads at end of that Vedas were given, but not only the Veda. If you say that end of Vedas, we are hardly have that 4 Vedas, and even if you Yajurveda was divided into 2, if it is taking, we have that 5 Vedas if you can take. But Upanishads are in between also was written. There were so many Upanishads actually. If you take all the Vedas were divided into the 1000 plus Shekas. All the 5 Vedas were divided into the 1087 or 57 Shakas. Each Shaka is having an Upanishad. Okay. But we don't have all these things in written or anywhere. So 108 or 108 to 200 Upanishads there. Later, in some of the scripts, we call it as 108 to 200 Upanishads are there. So before we go to these Upanishads, what is this Veda? Veda, the word Veda itself is knowledge. The word Veda, the meaning is knowledge. Vedas are to express the fundamental knowledge of existence of humans. How the creation happened, how the human is existing. This is giving the fundamental knowledge of the Vedas. As soon as we heard that Vedas, so what we remember is we remember all the rituals, because that is what we were taught, right? So you have to do this because it was said in Vedas. You have to do this in this way only because it was said in Vedas. Something like that only we actually heard about it, right? It is not so. That is a one part of the Vedas. Ritualistic living is a one part of Vedas. It is there in the Hinduism, whatever the ritualistic. But only thing is we don't know what exactly written in Vedas. Okay, you will say that, suppose you say that Brahmins only can read Vedas. That is what you all must have heard about it, right? So in Vedas, the Brahmins, the word was defined as those who know Brahman. It is not the caste what we are actually thinking of is the Brahmin. In Vedas, it was written, the Vedas can be read by Brahmins only or Brahmins only. But if that is the case, the sage Vasishtha has taught Vedas to whom? Lord Rama. So is the Lord Rama is a Brahmin? If we all know that he is not the Brahmin, then why that was actually taught to Lord Rama? Because he know that Brahman. So here Brahmin is the word is derived. Brahma is derived from those who know that Brahman. Those are the Brahmins. It is not the caste system. Is not speak in the Vedas. These are also known as, these Vedas are also known as Shrutis, because it was not given or it was not written anywhere in the beginning. They were all Shrutis because somebody has heard that. Shruti is what is heard. So they heard that sounds, they interpreted the sounds, they have heard those sounds, emanated sounds and the vibrations from the universe. They heard those Vedas from the universe, and then because they passed on to their the next generation Sishyas. So it is a Guru Parampara. It came from the Guru Parampara, from Guru teaching to the Sishyas. But later, as it is going on, at one point, they think that our human memory is getting weakened. We cannot remember all these things. We cannot remember. So around 500 BC, these Vedas were started in the written, and they got the script. Those are the times around 500 BC. Those Vedas started writing it up because people cannot remember all the things. So now if you see that whatever that we are actually studied in the last year, we are not able to remember, right? So our memory became weak with so many other things. So that is when the people started writing this scripture. So otherwise these Vedas are Shrutis. Okay, Shruti means the heard. They just heard those things. So these Vedas have explained the developing the concepts of the Vedic concepts, between dialogue between the two people, or dialogue between the God and somebody. So there are so many stories. With the so many stories in Vedas, we learn the many concepts. Not only the concepts of that human existence or human these things. There is a lot of science was also depicted in the Vedas itself. Lot of mathematics was talked in the Vedas itself. So whatever that we are learning now, those every mathematics and science, everything you can find the roots in Vedas, and all the things were explained here, explained in those itself. Okay, these we are encouraged to read the concepts to increase our personal knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and also the scientific knowledge. We encourage to read these Vedas. So in these Vedas, there are actually, as I told you, there are Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Ajur Veda, and Atharvan Veda. Mostly the Ajur Veda was divided into the two, Sukla Ajur Veda and Krishna Ajur Veda. So that was divided into the two Vedas also. So altogether, even if you take the division, there are the 5 Vedas. From these 5 Vedas, we have got 108 or 180 somewhere, or 200 around that. There are different places. I heard these many Upanishads are there. But if you see the scripture, right, we are available only for 13 Upanishads. Out of 13, the 10 Upanishads were famous, and everywhere you can study about those 10 Upanishads. Rig Veda, out of these Vedas, Rig Veda is the oldest Veda, and Samaveda and Yajurveda Veda are drawn from Atharva Veda itself. So they're from the different cores. They are drawn from the Atharva Veda, and all this came. So Rig Veda is the oldest of all the Vedas. Now coming to these things, when I'm just giving you the Vedas structure, right? So if you see the Veda structure, as you understood, right, whenever Vedas were received from the universe and they have written after that, and they were embedded in so many practical ways of how to live the life, how to conduct your life. All the things were revealed in this Vedas. And Vedas were organized into the 4 parts. Every Veda was organized in 4 parts. One is Aranyakas, which is talking about rituals and observances. What rituals we have to do and what are the observances we need to do. Like so many things, like when a person died, the Shraddhas, how we have to do all this kind of rituals, right? Everything was mentioned in the Aranyakas. Then Brahmanas. It talks about commentaries on the rituals, what it should be, and all the commentaries was written in the Brahmanas. And the third one is the Samhitas. Okay, mantras, prayers, all these things were written in the Samhitas. And the fourth one is Upanishads. The last part, or Vedanta, we call it as Vedanta. These call it as Upanishads. So philosophical dialogues and in a narrative form. So philosophical dialogues between the two persons, or your Sishya or Guru and Sishyas or whatever, right? So in that, so these are the Upanishads came into the picture there. So Upanishads are Vedanta. Some people, they may call it as Vedanta also. Okay, the Upanishads are composed over the several centuries. They didn't come to all the things did not come all at a time. So several centuries it went on. The oldest of all the Upanishads is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That is the oldest, and also Chandogya Upanishad. These were written around 8th century BC. It started around 8th century BC and composed as a prose and followed by the verses. So later they started the verses. All these scriptures are associated and affiliated with the Vedas only. Everything was associated with the Vedas, all the Upanishads. They were regularly classified. All the matters were classified here, and these Upanishads are also known as Shruti only. And every Upanishad talks about Brahman, how you can reach the Brahman. Every Upanishad is talking about Brahman only. Okay, then just to name some of them, as I told, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya Upanishads are the oldest ones. Then Taittiriya Upanishad, Aitri Upanishad, Kaustikeya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katopanishad, Isha Vashopanishad, Shvetaswara Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Prasna Upanishad, Maitri Upanishad, and Mandukya Upanishad. These are all the Upanishads that we have. So around 13 Upanishads, but out of them, the 10 are famous, and we have all the scriptures. So we will be going, later after this introduction session is over, we will be going we will start with the very small Upanishads. with some 10 verses only. I think out of all, Kenopanishad is the smallest one. Then Isha Upanishad, which is having 16 verses, compared to the Chandogya Upanishad, which is having 4 chapters and 300 and some 300 plus verses are there. So we will go from the smallest to the biggest. So when we are going over, you will be understanding either it is the smallest of all Kenopanishad or the Vedaranyaka Upanishad. Everywhere they are talking about Brahman, how we are existing, how actually the soul is coming up, and how we have to conduct the life. This is the thing that everywhere it is giving. It is talking, all the Upanishads are talking about the philosophy of meditation, the nature of the God, what is the nature of the God, and what is the basic Hindu beliefs, from where it came. All the things these are talking about, all in the Upanishads they are talking about. And also they'll talk about world soul in the world, how the soul is spirit or soul, and universal spirit, a Brahman, and Atman again, the individual soul. Okay, you and everybody, whatever that soul that we have is an Atman, and the ultimate soul is the Brahman, or supreme consciousness. So these are the things which we are talking in this Upanishads. Spiritual meanings of these Vedic texts, whatever the Vedic texts, that they are brought out to understand what is the secret doctrine, right? What is that secret doctrine within them? So these Upanishads are bringing out whole Vedas. If you say that, okay, you have to go and read the Vedas, what do you feel? Oh, Veda, I need to know the Sanskrit. Okay, this is not for me. You will try to get some excuses also, like if you want to learn also, right? Oh, some people said only Brahmins have to read it. If I read it, I don't know what will happen. So I don't want to touch it. Because these are all some of the excuses we want. Are when there is a lot of truth is there, if you want to once know, after knowing that, you may not want to chant those things, or you may not forget about all the things, like even Omkaram chanting or Gayatri Mantram chanting. You say that, okay, these people should not do it, those people should not do it. There are so many rituals that, so we don't know whether it is right or not, so let us not go there. That's what we feel it, right? Because whenever it comes to the rituals, because we don't know what is the truth, let us not go. That's what. But in this Vedas, when the Upanishads, everything, suppose if you say that Gayatri Mantra should not be chanted by women, this is what you must have heard about it, right? So when you heard about it in this Upanishads, when I go through, it was written why and when we should not go. What will happen if you go to the Gayatri Mantra in one of the Upanishads, was clearly explained, whenever you are reading that Gayatri Mantra, so the hormonal, whatever that energies that you have, the feminine energies and the masculine energies, so the energies, the hormones that are released will be different whenever you are chanting that in a good, in a correct fashion. So they say that until if you are in the Grihasthasrama, until you have finished your things like kids and all, so until you wanted to have your own feminine qualities or feminine hormones has to be in the balanced mode, right? Until then, don't chant that mantra. Once all those things were done, you are good to chant those Gayatri mantra. So if you are there, it is not that 1 or 2 times if you are actually reading when you are praying, that will not affect. That it will get affected only when you are continuously chanting with that full sound, full pronunciation. Then your body hormonals will get segregated. So because of that, hormonal things will be different. Because of that, you should not chant only at a certain times. It's until that. So when you know that science behind that, everything was written, even in the Upanishads and Vedas were given. Every reason was given. Like as I said, like Brahmins only should read it. Then why all other people are reading? Why others people? Why we cannot read it? They were given. Brahman means the one who knew Brahman. If you are not knowing that Brahman, if you are not knowing that whatever that energy that you have within you, and it is there within everybody, when you are understanding that, then only you are considered as a Brahman. It is not that you are born in a Brahmin caste, then because of that you are entitled. That is not the case. Whichever the caste you are born in, those were the days, those caste system came into the Varnasrama Dharma, because Different people has to do the different things. Because of that because of the varnasrama, they have categorized into the different things. Because of the caste, not that you should do this or you shouldn't do this, it was not written in any way. Okay, that is what when I learned about these Upanishads, what we understood these. Then was Atman, Brahman and Atman, that we have, and also the self-realization techniques, how you can realize the self, who can realize the self-realization, who can do that, what is the yoga, what is the karma, what is this reincarnation, all the things were explained in this Upanishads. It was veiled under, it was, you may say that it is under older religion concepts, but whatever that we are learning in the New Age spirituality, those concepts were again given, same concepts with a deep meaning was given there. The only thing is, there they have written one sloka in Sanskrit. Okay, that we have to interpret so well, because we need some guru in order to interpret the sloka to say that meaning. Whereas in the new spirituality authors, they are writing the same concept in a very detailed manner, so that you and I can understand easily. Because it was written in a plain language, right? Not in a Sanskrit or anything. So you are able to understand that in a better way. And also there are Upanishads are talking about the liberation of this life cycle, right? It's a cycle of birth and death. How you can liberate it, how you can achieve that you are an immortal being. So ultimately what you have to achieve, you are an immortal reality. You are not a mortals. You are an immortal reality. That is what you have to understood. Okay, so what are the main, because before we go there, what are the main teachings of these Upanishads? That we are already learned in various forms. I'm just reminding you, because in other in other meditation sessions or in other things, we have learned the main, all the Upanishads are talking about 6 Mahavakyas. Okay, out of 6, there are 4 are like very famous ones. There are 6 Mahavakyas is the one which are very important. That is, Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahm. I am Brahman. This is, everybody knows, right? Because you must have heard in many places. This is coming from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is coming from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I am Brahman, or I am Aham Brahmasmi. The ultimate truth, the Vedic knowledge. Whatever the Vedic knowledge, the ultimate truth is the great savior of the God, or the God is supreme. That supreme consciousness is the one. God is nothing but supreme consciousness. Whatever we worship, apart from all these things, it destroys us. Whatever you worship, that apart from that supreme consciousness, it is destroying us. It is stopping us. It is stopping us from the your own true divinity. You have to go with your own true divinity. So in that, you have to see Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahman. Because I am the Brahman, whenever you are thinking, do not think that I am the Brahman, so not everybody else is not the Brahman. Once, whenever you think that I am the Brahman, the other person is also the Brahman. So you have to treat them equally. That is what the knowledge that it is giving. So when we go through, actually we will go over in a very detailed manner, but this is the one of the great Mahavakya, which is the Advaita concept, because it is the same, right? Advaita concept is, there are the 3 concepts here. Before I say, there are 3 concepts. One is Advaita, Dvaita and Visishta Advaita. Advaita is our Shankaracharya. What he says is, you are the God and you are the same. What you came from that particular God only, that supreme consciousness only. So whatever the qualities that the God has, you are also having those qualities, and you have to go and you have to go within yourself in order to find out that supreme consciousness. Okay, that is Advaita, and the Guru is Shankaracharya. Next one is Dvaita. Dvaita is, you are different, God is different, and you are different. There are 2. Okay, God is different and you are different. Both are different. That is the Dvaita is Ramanujacharya. Okay, Dvaita concept. So you always try to reach that God. You are the universe. The God is separate, and you are a small entity. So you have to try to reach to that God. That is the Dvaita concept. And the third concept is Vishishtadvaita. Okay, there is a God is there. The big whole is the God, And you are a separate, but that separate, you are the small part of that whole God. You are the small part of, if I take the Venn diagram kind of thing, that you is within that. So within that Supreme God, you are also there within that. So that is the Visishtadvaita, which is depicted by Madhvacharya. So these are the three gurus which we taught at Advaita Sankaracharya, Advaita by Ramanujacharya, and Vishishtadvaita by Madhvacharya. So these three people. If you take the first one, Aham Brahmasmi, right? Aham Brahmasmi, mostly that everyone is the God. So you are a God and the other one is God. This is Advaita, we can call it. Everyone is the same kind of thing. Next one is the self is Brahman. That is, I am Atam Brahma. You yourself is the Brahma. I am I am Atma Brahma. That is from Mandukya Upanishad. We got this Mahavakya from Mandukya Upanishad. Not only our self is divine, it is the same self is there in every being. Absolute truth is there everywhere. So that is what it is saying. Self is the divine. Okay. The third one is, that's the second Mahavakya. And third one is that Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi came from the Chandogya Upanishad. So whatever you see, Tattvamasi, you are that. Tattvamasi, you are that. Whatever we think, whatever we see, you are that. You are ultimate. You are there everywhere. You are that. That is the Tattvamasi, the fourth Mahavakya. The fifth Mahavakya is intelligence is Brahman. Pragnanam Brahma. Anything? Okay. Pragnanam Brahma. The fourth one is Pragnanam Brahma. That is Aitareya Upanishad. It came from Aitareya Upanishad. So whatever the knowledge is Brahman. It is saying the knowledge is Brahman. Our discriminant truth of the truth. Truth is, that is the truth itself. The divine intelligence is present within us. Every one of us, that divine intelligence is present within us, and it has the power to return to the divine. So you can go back to your divinity with that power. That power is not, we are actually searching in Upanishads, Vedas, in some New Age spirituality books. Everywhere we are searching that. But if you can go within us, that every knowledge is there within us. Pragnanam Brahma, that knowledge is there. You have to, externally, we are trying to understand that everything is within us. Once we understand, at the same time, we have to go and practice so that we can experience that. This is all, whatever the book clubs that we are doing, whatever the books we are reading, this is all external knowledge, academic kind of thing, right? We are actually trying to go on. But if we just do this, there is no use. Because we will be knowing, I get to know the knowledge, I can teach you, I can preach you. This is all not going to help me or you. Only once we understand that, only when we go within us, when we experience that. When we experience that every Aham Brahmasmi state, when we experience that particular thing, you won't find fault with anybody. That is the thing, right? So what you feel, okay, she is doing that, okay, she is in that cycle or in that particular stage of her life. So she whatever that knowledge that she is having, she is doing that. Whatever the knowledge that I am having, I am doing that. Okay. So like, as I told you, because I'm learning the Upanishads, I have heard so many eminent gurus. Swami Swapramananda, or so many people, Prajwalananda, Manda Rishi, or somebody, and I have read the commentaries from Sankaracharya, all those people. So whenever I read those commentaries, if I think that, can I take it? Really not. Can I take this session? I cannot take it class, because whatever that the knowledge they have is, I just have the head of that ant thing. That much only I know it. But the thing is, only thing, yeah, I'm trying to introduce what I know it here. But when I can become that, because when I can practice, right, whatever that I have learned here, if I can practice, whoever that Sankaracharya is having that knowledge, or whoever, we are also having that knowledge within us. Only when we are practicing, when we are going within us, then we are able to experience that. When I experience that one Aham Brahmasmi, then everything else will be like, I won't, why we are actually going for doing the job, doing that, doing this, because we are finding happiness. Ultimate thing is we are finding happiness, right? In order to find the happiness only, we are doing everything. But when you know that with all these teachings, with all these things, when you know that the knowledge is within you, when you can understand that the knowledge is within you, you can be happy being. Whatever it comes to you, you'll enjoy. If it goes, you will still enjoy. Because not that with that particular thing, the happiness won't come. Let us see, like, because I want to buy some Adi car, I bought it. I'm so happy today. But tomorrow, if some scratch happened, I'm not happy, because the same thing which brought me happiness is bringing me sorrow also. Right? That is it. So, but when you feel that Aham Brahmasmi state or anything, like I'll bring the one context from the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, he says that Sri Krishna says in 15th chapter, either you accept both, whatever that pain and pleasure, or you reject both. Either you accept both to be happy or reject both to be happy. So whenever I get my car, that Audi car or whatever I wanted to have it, if I get it, if I don't feel happy, just use it. Don't feel so much happy or excited, because you need some vehicle to transport from one place to another. Just use it. If some scratch happened, I can still use it. I don't feel unhappy, right? Because I'm not taking that worldly pleasure as worldly things as a pleasure. Then I don't think if something happened to that as also as a pain. That particular state we have to. It is not so easy that we learned in the classes. We learn it, but when we actually go outside, the moment we stopped and we go outside, everything is same. Like we feel pain, we feel pleasure. So if you want to have a happy life, either accept both or reject both. That is what. So this kind of teachings were given to us in the Upanishads, in the various Upanishads, in a various forms. But when you go through each and every Upanishads, you really feel like, oh my God, this much knowledge was given. Really, when I learned it, I feel like this much knowledge was given in India. Means we're all being Indians. We have that in our scriptures. And why we was not introduced as a kids itself? Yeah, everyone may not be learning all the things, definitely. But we were given, even with some small, the CPW or some period used to be there in the school, with all these knittings, that this was also introduced for us. But not this great knowledge was not introduced. You may not get everything. You may just take one or two Mahavakyas or one or two things in that, and if you try to practice also, then also your life you can conduct your life so happily. You will not judge the people, you will not do any negative things, right? So when you actually knowledge was given, you feel a bit. It may not be all 100 people. If 100 people were given, at least few people they can follow. Even the society can be a better place to live, when we all know that. So we need not wait until 40s to learn this knowledge, right? So that's what I felt it. So definitely you will be enjoying it more when you are actually learning one by one. And the next one, fifth one is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. The sixth one is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. The universe is Brahman. The entire universe is Brahman. This Mahavakya is again from Chandogya Upanishad. The entire universe is divine. It includes ourselves. So we are also the divine beings. Not only that, it is the conscious principle. It is the principle, ultimate principle, the ultimate object as well as the subject. Ultimate object as well as subject in all the beings is that universe is divine. One in all and all in one. One in all and all in one. Or you can say I am the Soham. That is the so it's a natural Soham. That the thing is natural inhalation and the exhalation. We call it as Soham. That is also given in the Upanishads only. The identity of the self or the divine Lord is inherent with the natural movement of the breath. If you observe that natural movement of the breath, you can identify this Brahman. So that is what we are doing in Anapanasati, right? So that is coming from that Upanishads itself. Okay. Brahman, the Taittiriya Upanishad describes this Brahman as the truth. Taittiriya Upanishad, they say that truth, Satyam, or knowledge, Gnanam, or infinity, Anantam. Satyam, Gnanam, Anantam. Okay. So the truth is the knowledge, and this is not the finite, it is the infinite. So whatever that we are learning, so we are not actually ending. We are learning. What the more you learn, if you observe it, right, the more you learn, you feel that the less you know. I don't know whether you experience this or not. That is what I always experience. The more you learn, you feel that there is much more to learn. Whatever we learn is that suppose you don't know anything, you just read one book. Oh, I learned so much things today. I'm so happy. Okay, but the more you learn, that is what Socrates also told, right? So when all the things when he learned, what he said is, I know nothing. After he learned everything, all the philosophy and all, his statement is, the person who is knowledgeable is the one he realizes he knows nothing. Okay, so whatever that we are learning here, we are the day by day that you are learning, you feel that, oh my God, this much knowledge is there. What did we do in all these days? We have to learn so much. That kind of feeling only you'll be getting it. Beyond this, all expressed is the Brahman only. Here, whatever that expressed in this world is the Brahman only. That is Sat Chit Anand. Okay, whatever is there in this thing is the existence. Sat is the existence, Chit is the consciousness, and Ananda is Brahma. Ananda is bliss. Sat Chit Anand. Everything that is existing is Sat Chit Anand. That is the existence, consciousness, and the bliss. Ultimately, the Brahman cannot be described. We cannot describe the Brahman. Okay, you can only just experience that Brahman. You cannot describe. Okay, it is there in you, in me, but how you can describe? Only when you are experiencing that. Everywhere that Brahman is there, every person, or with everything also, the Brahman only there. There are two things. One is that manifested in the form of the this is my AirPods, this is my computer. So this is also, it's a manifestation of that God. We are also the manifestation of that God. Within us, there's this soul is also added. So everything else is also the manifestation of that God, which is nothing but the Brahman only. Whether it is a thing, or whether it is a person, or whether it is an animal, anything is the manifestation of the God. Samsat Chit Anand only. Everything is coming from that only. Okay, the sage Agnavalkya said, one may come close to describing the Brahman only by starting what is not. That is what in everywhere in the thing they say that neti, neti, neti. That's what they say. Means this is not, this is not, this is not. Whenever you say this is not, then ultimately only you can able to reach to that Brahman stage. So by describing what is not, then you can go to that Brahman. That is what sage Yajnavalkya is saying. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the father asked the son, dissolve the salt in water. Okay, he asked dissolves the salt in water, and he says the Brahman and Atman are united in a similar manner. So whenever you are actually salt, you are dissolving it. The both are, you cannot see the salt, right? You can only see the water. Okay, can you see the salt? Yeah, I can separate it by just again drying it up. You must say that is different thing. But once you started dissolving it, you cannot see that, which means your Atman is dissolved into that Brahman. So that is ultimately that we are trying to reach to that is, we are trying to reach that Atman to the Brahman. By meditating or by doing everything, we are trying to go to that from our Atman stage to the Brahman stage. We are trying to reach there. Okay, that's where we are going. That this is a generic introduction about these Upanishads in general. Okay. So I'll give few more concepts because we have 10 more minutes. So I'll just give you a few concepts more, and then I'll just stop it so that we can go to the Upanishad by Upanishad next class. Themes of the Upanishads, right? So what is that theme? In generally theme, it is everything is going to say that what is impermanent, what is permanent. all the Upanishads, or even in the spiritual texts, you say that the world objects, what is impermanent and what is the permanence, what is the reality. So your body is impermanent. Do you agree? What is permanent? Your soul is permanent. Your body is mortal. Your soul is immortal. So you are not the mortal beings. Once you die, it is not that you are going to die. The only thing, you are leaving your dress and you are wearing one more dress and again coming, right? So here is that is what he distinguishes between the permanent and impermanent things. What is that permanent reality? Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand. That is the being. Sat is being. Chit is consciousness. Ananda is that bliss. Okay. So that is what we do it. When Sat Chit Anand is viewed as an external cosmic reality, and this that is called Brahman. When it is viewed as internal reality, individual reality, that is Atman. When it is viewed as internal things, that is called Atman. A external thing, it is the viewed as Brahman. Let me just share a screen so that I can give you just few concepts. Not able to. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? I think it blanked out. I don't know. Whenever I am doing it, it's blacking out. Okay, now you are able to see, right? At least. Okay. So this is what here. The world sense of object is impermanent. But there is a permanent thing, that is the reality, enduring reality. The permanent reality is Sat Chit Anand. It's the being, consciousness, and bliss. When Sat Chit Anand is viewed as external, it is called as Brahman. And when it is viewed as internal, inner reality, that is viewed as Atman. Okay. So what is this Brahman reality? Whatever we talked about non-duality, right? Dvaita. So many Upanishads teach that Brahman is non-duality, that is one, the identical with Atman. Non-dual Sat Chit Anand appearances are manifest as multiplicity of the objects in our experience. What endures is one. That name is Nama Rupa in many. This Nama Rupa could be Rama, Krishna, or Prasanna, or Lavanya, or it could be a book, or an AirPods, or anything. Everything, that Brahman is there. The non-dual conception of the Brahman or Atman reality implies ultimate reality, no attributes, that Nirguna. So ultimately, we have to go to that stage, that Nirguna Brahma. We are giving all the forms because we just wanted to, because we are in the form, we just want to experience. See here, if you take it, right, it's a Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Okay, from where all these came? All these avatars or all these the rupas came from that supreme consciousness only. Supreme consciousness only they came. The non-dual interpretation of the Brahman implies that gods represents a different provisional manifestation of the formless Brahman. These three people, the Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu or the Brahma, these are all came from that formless thing only. But if you have that formless Nirguna Swarupa, we are not able to identify, we are not able to recollect, we are not able to focus that on that Nirguna Brahma. That is why they came in a different forms. So all these Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are from that Nirguna Brahma, or the supreme consciousness only. Okay, here the Trimurti, the three forms represents the formless Brahman manifested, immanent in the cosmic processes of the creation, preservation, and dissolution or recreation of the cosmos. They're all, Brahma is for the creation, Vishnu is for preservation, and Shiva is for the dissolution of the cosmos. That is what we say, right? He is the creator, he is a sustainer, the Vishnu, and the Shiva is a dissolution. But all these came from where? All this came from that supreme consciousness only. That formless God, all the three forms came. And that formless God, the even Big Bang theory, they said that's one big sound came, right? So the Plato theory also says that one sound came, and from that all the manifestation has came. What is that sound? If you see, that's nothing but Omkara. That is why in our Hindu scriptures, we have a lot of importance on Omkara. Om is the sound, it came first. Even if you see that how the language came also, I don't know whether you know the story or not, how the language came also, right? So when the Shiva in the Shiva place, when the Damarukum he is doing it, he got that 14 sounds. From that 14 sounds, the language, Sanskrit language came. From that 14 sounds, the Vyakaranam came. Then from Sanskrit, all other languages came. So that's how the initial sound, the Omkaram came, and all these things, the universe itself is came. Okay. Brahman as a personal God. Then we started having one following that Saguna Brahma. From that Nirguna Brahma, we started that Saguna Brahma. That means with the one Rupam, with Nama Rupa, with one Rupam. The Upanishads refers the Brahman as a various attributes, that is Saguna Brahma, indicating the personal God, knowledge, will, goddesses, you may Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati, Brahma, Vishnu, whatever the form. Some passages in the Mandukya Upanishad subordinate the Brahman as the Supreme Purusha. So Brahman as, they are called it as Supreme Purusha. Even Bhagavad Gita, they say Purusha and Prakriti. So how the Purusha means it is not the man. Here is a Purusha is a supreme consciousness. Prakriti is all the materialistic thing that we are actually is having. So when combining, when Prakriti reaches to that Purusha, that is the where the our salvation or liberation will come into that. Other Upanishads is having Kena, Isha. So all these Upanishads is also talking about this Atman and God. Brahman as a supreme personal being implies that Atman, the true self, is an absolute, distinct, and intimately related to each other. That is what the Atman, they are saying it. Okay, you can see in some of these things in Sankhya philosophy, which is the oldest philosophy of the thing, where you can see this again, Prakriti, Purusha, that's a central concept. There are three concepts, Ishvara, Prakriti, Purusha. Ishvara is the ultimate supreme God, and Prakriti is the matter, and Purusha is the consciousness. The liberation of the samsara is the cultivation of the practices to realize that self as the consciousness unconditioned by the matter. This is what it explains in the Sankhya philosophy. And the next one is Raja Yoga. In Raja Yoga, which is depicted by the Patanjali, he says that Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That is what he says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chitta is like whatever their mind, right? Stilling the thoughts of your mind. Stilling. Just stop the thoughts of your mind by practicing this moral virtue, discrimination, meditation, including your physical posture and breath control. Then you can go do that Raja Yoga. So he explained in all his sutras how you can just go in the liberation mode with so many sutras. And then Vedanta, what we have learned, right? So all these things, Upanishads is also that part of this Vedanta. Shankara Acharya, and he said that Advaita Vedanta. Okay, these are all how actually it is came into the other things. So by contrast, Bhakti Vedanta traditions affirm that Brahman is ultimately the personal reality. If you see Bhagavad Gita, so when you cannot go there like a oneness and all, then he says that ultimately just do that Krishna as an ultimate reality. So just worship that Krishna. That's a Bhakti Yoga. Do that Sarvasi Saranagati. So everything is Krishna, do that Saranagati and do that. Then also you will reach that yoga. Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga. There are four different yogas. With any of the yogas, you can reach the ultimate. But with all the four together, do some Bhakti, do Karma Yoga, and do some Raja Yoga. Then you will be able to reach that ultimate reality also. So you can follow any of the paths. Okay, Vedanta in when it was Vedanta was introduced to the United States. So when this Vivekananda lectures, we all know that Chicago's the famous lecture, right? So with the Vivekananda lectures, who is the disciple of the Ramakrishna, so he with this Vedanta was introduced, and later with the Swami Prabhupada, the Sri Krishna Tattvam was introduced to the United States, and many of the people here, even the white people, that became the disciples, and they are learning this Advaitam from the Bhagavad Gita. So these are all the concepts. Here, I just gave you, in this class, I just gave you the concepts of like, what do you say, different concepts, how you the Atman and the Brahman was introduced in the various Upanishads. Okay, so in order to tell each and everything also, I need like again so much class to go over. But again, too much deep into it also, it may not help. You may lost somewhere, right? I don't want to do that. So I just gave you like what I hear. If you see that in Hindu itself, we will, okay, these are the Krishna Bhaktas and these are Vaishnavas. So, but if you see here, Vaishnava and Krishna or Shiva or anybody, all came from that Nirguna Swarupa. They are all from one only. Only for the sake of ourselves, you may follow anyone, but doesn't mean that the others are bad. Don't fight for the sake of that. You can follow any one path and reach to that liberation. But only things, ultimate truth is that Aham Brahmasmi or whatever the thought that we learn. When we learn those things, then you can go to that liberation state. As long as you feel that because you are worshipping Krishna, you are the great. Because you are worshipping Shiva, you are the great, not the others. When you have that feeling, you are in the dualistic nature. So you cannot achieve that liberation. So you have to achieve that liberation. In order to achieve that, you have to understand this ultimate truth. What is that Atman? How we are actually reaching to the Brahmananda. Okay. With this, I'll stop and I'll open it for questions.
Thank you, Prasanna. So there were 5, you said 6, right? 6 Vakyas, Mahavakyas?
Yes, 6 Mahavakyas.
What is the last one, Mahavakya? Which is last Mahavakya? This.
The last Mahavakya from Chandogya Upanishad.
I am Soham, is that the one? Or?
I am Atma Brahma, that the what you noted down, right?
Yeah.
So is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma?
Yeah. 5th one?
That is 6th one, right?
Sarvam
the first one is Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. First one, okay. Second one is I am Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi. 5th one is the Pragnanam Brahma. Fourth one is Pragnanam Brahma. 5th one is Brahman Sarvadam Kalvidam Brahma. 5th one is I am Soham. Yeah, I am Soham. Ultimate thing, observe your breath, inhalation and exhalation.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, Prasanna, which was really wonderful because I never had a glance or anything, not much knowledge about this Upanishads. So I was quite interested about this session, and thank you.
I'll share this presentation with you. Whoever is interested, they can take it. I'll share with you, Lavanya.
Thank you so much. And one more thing, Prasanna, so why is this like there are so many 3 Advaitas, right? One is saying like the God is, you are God, and the other one is Advaita. Why these 3 different things, 3 concepts has come? Because it's quite confusing for us to know.
No, it is not like that. Suppose when you say that you are the God, it is not actually, everybody is not taking that.
Yeah.
You are the God, everybody within you, the God is there. Everybody is not taking that. Then you are saying that the God is there, you go and worship him. Then the duality was created. Suppose if you say, what is that, I can say simple words. What is that day? When the night is gone, day comes. Am I right? So what is that Gnanam? When Agnanam was removed, the Gnanam will come. So what is that Advaita? When the duality is removed, then the Advaitam will come.
Okay. It's like
so because whenever you are saying that we are not understanding. You are the God. You have all the capabilities. You are not understanding it. Then okay, God is here. he is having these qualities. At the end, you tell that that same God is there within you also.
Yeah.
You say somebody is having the qualities, you are able to understand, right? Somebody trying to talk?
Yeah, let me just see. Chandrakala, do you want to ask any question? I can unmute you. Do you want to ask any question?
Any questions in the chat?
It was a mistake, it seems. Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, Chandrakala, she was telling like, yeah, thank you, Prasanna ma'am. I'm hearing all this in detail for the first time. Yeah. Thank you, Chandrakala.
Lovely class, excellent class, Prasanna madam. Thank you, Lavanya.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Anusha ma'am.
We wanted to hear this one long time actually. It's really great. Yeah. This is a really a complex subject, but she made it very easy. Madam. Great.
Thank you, Anaja ma'am.
Just coming to the Dvaita and Advaita, even I get confused, but I believe
No, I'll send you one Venn diagram, one small Venn diagram that will, because I'm not able to draw here, that may be giving. Suppose if one big circle is there, that is the God. And you are also that big circle.
Yeah.
That is Advaita. The big circle is there, God, and you are also that big circle, that is Advaita. Because God is the circle and you are also the circle, the same. Okay. The big circle is there, and beyond means not in the circle, outside of the circle, you have a small circle. That is you, and this big circle is God. That is Dvaita.
Yeah.
This big circle is God, and the small circle outside the circle is Dvaita. So you are seeing the God is separate and you are separate. Okay. And the big circle is there. Within that, there is a small circle. There is a small circle. That is Visishta Advaita. The big circle is God, and you are the small circle within God. That is Visishta Advaita. So you may not, so with this Venn diagram, maybe because you are not separate from the God. The dualistic systems teach that you are separate. God is separate and you are separate. You go and try for that God. But that is also right. I say that is also right because at one point you have to feel that at least worship the God.
That's right. Everyone
you cannot
should go
understand.
into the same path.
Yeah, everyone should go, right? Because even all the souls in some incarnations, we say that there's no God. This is the life. I have money. I'll enjoy. In some lives. Okay. After hitting something hard, we feel that some supreme thing is running this thing. We have to worship it. That is duality. But once you started experiencing that, when you are doing good to the others, right? When you started doing good to the others, you feel that your works are being done automatically. You must have experienced this. Suppose if when you experience that, okay, God is nowhere, it is within us. If I am working for something good, the God is working for me. So God is there within us. What is that? With the good thoughts only the God is there. Then you feel that, okay, the big part is God and I am in that. But when you are actually feeling that I can do anything for anybody, it is not that I have to have the good thoughts. Then you experience that Aham Brahmasmi, the same God is there within me. I can do everything what the God is doing. You can experience that everywhere, not only you, but everyone among others also the God is there. Okay. You won't feel like, okay, they are different. Let us take, we all follow that vegetarianism or whatever because ahimsa paramo dharma, the first principle, we have wanted to follow it. We are following it. Suppose when you are in the dualistic manner, you feel that something great, you are following that thing, and the others are not following you. You are feeling something great because you are feeling that they are dualistic. They are separate. You are separate. Do you agree? So at some other point, At some other point, what you feel that is when you go to that Visishtadvaita says, God is there within them also. Only thing is they are in the different stage of their life. They are not understanding that in that particular whatever the animals are also God is there. That is why they are eating. If they have given the knowledge that God is there in everywhere, then they will not eat. It is not their fault. It is only that knowledge is not given. Then you are in the Visishtadvaita. You are feeling that. So once they get to know, many of us has done the same thing, right? We must have eaten the non-veg for something, and when that knowledge was given, when we experienced that, we stopped. So because somebody else is eating, it is not their fault. It is that they are not experiencing that thing. That's all.
They are not in that level. Yeah, in that higher level.
In that level.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that God is not there within them. God is there still within them. Only
That's
thing
right.
they need to realize it. So once you understand that God is there with them, with you, then you will not see them as a different. You see them, you feel more responsible that you need to give the knowledge to them. Do you agree?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you don't see anybody as a different. You see that God is there, everybody, all, and you see that even some bad experiences happened also. They came to teach you something. They came to teach you something. So once you understand that, then actually go back to your day-to-day life itself. There are some instances which will repeatedly come to you because you are not learning from that thing. If you're not learning from that thing, repeatedly it will come to you. Once you understand that thing, okay, this has happened in order to teach this, then that won't come. So if you can see that as an incident, not as a person, you will be able to grow spiritually in your life.
Yeah, got it. So people are in different levels. That's why these things came to put them in the right path in a different way. Even our Patriji always says we are gods, but only people in PMC believes. Outside people don't believe it. But that is how we working towards that. Do the meditation, as you mentioned, stop the thoughts. You go and connect your inner and all these things. That is exactly the same way. Yeah. Got it.
Same thing we are going to learn with the 10 different Upanishads, 10 different stories, 10 different stories. They will tell different. Each Upanishad will give you the depiction in a different way. Yeah. One in the form of the conversation between a boy and a god, one with the father and son, one with something else. So they gave that stories. With that, we will understand it. We will learn more.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavanya, for again connecting back with the same group. I'm happy to be with you all.
Yes, ma'am. Let me just see the feedback. Yeah, Sailaja ma'am said thank you, Prasanna garu. MS, great introduction, Prasanna. This is an important knowledge one must know. Look forward to the in-depth sessions on Upanishads. Thank you. Surya Kala, very detailed explanation. Thank you. Varasa, thank you very much, Prasanna garu, for Upanishads briefing. Thank you, Varasa. Thanks, Prasanna garu. Look forward to much more examples to understand these concepts well, so we can apply in day-to-day lives. Thank you. Some from Sandeep. Thank you. Yeah. It's a quite interesting topic, and we would get questions going forward. Yes. So as of now, I think.
Thank you, Lavanya.
Yes, Prasanna garu. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I haven't planned for that. Yeah, next session onwards, we'll add meditation at the end, maybe before questions for a few minutes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Yeah. Thank you, Prasanna.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Lavanya. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.